It is 6:30 in the morning, dawn of a great adventure. This is the day you will sail through the Panama Canal, the one morning of the cruise where no one sleeps in. Most have decided to have an early breakfast in the Lido.
Good morning, ma'am.
Others enjoy complimentary cabin service. Some have chosen this hour to walk about the ship, anticipating what is to come. You are about to sail on the grandest adventure of all, and what better way than on the ships of Holland America line. Each winter, spring and fall, the world-class ships of Holland America cruise the Panama Canal on a memorable voyage through history. If you enter the canal zone from the Atlantic Ocean through the Caribbean Sea, you travel about 7 miles before you reach the first set of locks. Because of where it lies between the oceans, Panama is the only country in the world where the sun rises over the Pacific and sets over the Atlantic. This geographic oddity made Panama the goal of Spanish conquerors in the early 1500s. A narrow strip of land connecting 2 continents and dividing 2 oceans, destined Panama to become the crossroads of the world. The building of the canal equals construction of the pyramids in Egypt and China's Great Wall. Thousands died here before Americans took over the project in 1904. The canal was opened in 1914, and the only modifications from the original are the forces that pull the ships along. Once it was mules that provided the power. Now the mules are mechanical. As you travel toward Gatun Locks, you look back a few days and remember when the ship called at Caribbean ports. There was the white sand beach on Grand Cayman Island. And shopping at places recommended by the port lecturer who travels aboard ship. At Cartagena, the architecture and romance of old Spain lives on even today. And before you went ashore in San Blas, the ship's lecturer explained the cultural heritage of this small island in the Caribbean Sea. Here, the Kuna Indians paint their own pictures of history. Here, women wear gold rings and multi-layered tapestries they call molas. Those who conceived the practical ideas for the Panama Canal relied on nature and gravity to make it work. At Gatun Locks, you'll see why the idea is still a good one. The locks lift the ship 85 feet from sea level to the surface of Gatun Lake, which also supplies the water to raise and lower ships making the journey. The concept of a canal nearly 100 feet above sea level was an American idea. Each mile of the journey through the canal, the ship's guide explains what you are seeing.
We have just arrived at Gatun Locks, which is the first of 3 separate sets of locks in the canal. You're going to see the horizon of the ship in a 3-step operation 85 feet into the waters of the lake. You can also notice that even though that the ship is in the lock, it always goes on its own power. And the purposes of the Musa locomotive, they are to keep it centered, guides it through the locks, and also reacts as brakes.
One center toe again, that's good. One center stop towing, 2 center slack.
You can see that the size of the Maasdam is 101 feet beam. The lock chambers are 110 feet wide. So this ship has about 4.5 feet to spare on either side of the lock walls.
Once it clears the first set of locks, the ship enters Gatun Lake, an immense artificial reservoir spreading 168 square miles across what was once Panamanian jungle. The journey through the canal covers 50 miles and takes about 8 hours. Time to reflect on the wonders around you. The dreams of the past have become the commonplace of today. You are journeying across a place where once the future was made. Now you are surrounded by the luxury of a great ocean liner and the traditions of Holland America's style and 5-star service. Tonight, as on nights past and nights to come, you will walk among art and antiques. There are elegantly appointed staterooms and spacious suites. You'll dine again on Rosenthal china at a table fastidiously set, and you'll choose from the most varied and elaborate menus at sea. Perhaps you'll enjoy complimentary hors d'oeuvres and a cocktail before dinner. And with our cashless society, your signature takes care of everything. No tipping is required. And around you, fresh flowers everywhere. You will be greeted by the Dutch captain and one of his officers, each an heir to a 400-year-old seafaring legacy. And certainly you will return the smile of more than one of the ship's Indonesian and Filipino crew members whose flawless service and soft-spoken ways won your heart the moment you stepped aboard. Once across Gatun Lake, the ship enters the Gaillard Cut, an 8-mile canyon through the continental divide of the Isthmus of Panama. You are now nearly 3/4 of the way through the canal. The winding channel of the Gaillard Cut leads you to the Pedro Miguel locks. How different the view must have been in 1912. At the height of work in that year, 50,000 people were building the canal. And when it was completed, at a cost of $352 million for the U.S., it came in under budget and ahead of schedule. On August 15th, 1914, the first full transit of the Panama Canal was made by the steamer Ancon. As you approach the Pedro Miguel locks, the ship is still 85 feet above sea level, sailing on waters supplied by the rainforests. From lake level, the ship will begin its journey back to sea level. The final descent will be through the Pedro Miguel and Miraflores locks. It will have taken 53 million gallons of water to move the ship through the canal. And now, at the level of the Pacific Ocean, the ship is clear to sail to new destinations.
Bienvenidos a Costa Rica.
Your Panama Canal adventure takes you from the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific and the colorful resorts of the Mexican Riviera. And the great cities of the West lie ahead. You have done what most of the world has not. You have sailed the Panama Canal. It is the day you came for, but it is not the only day of your journey, nor the only night. It's never too late for a snack at the late-night dessert extravaganza. Whatever you do, you know that when you return to your stateroom, you'll find a turned-down bed and a chocolate on your pillow. A sweet dream of more adventures to come. Holland America Line. Recognized over and over again as the best cruise line in the world, offering the best value in worldwide cruising. Come. Discover a true and lasting love affair with Holland America Line. To begin your Panama Canal journey, See your professional travel agent today.